the phrase "next man up" is something we hear in football all the time, and I'm sure you've heard it. How did you feel about the way, like, a Rex Burkhead today? I know James White wasn't here with you guys, so what did you think about the way he stepped in, that notion of, like, the next guy up, and just overall of what Rex was able to do today?
Well, Berkey had a game. He had a day. Those guys was teasing each other in the locker room with Sony. Sony did a lot of heavy lifting. And, for the most part, guys, I wouldn't say it's more or less like that because we practice to maximize our role. I think that's what you got guys doing. When you come to guys like Small Fry, Berkey, Son, and everybody else. So it didn't matter if it was at the running back position, which was highlighted today, or anything else moving forward. Golly.
Our next question, Mark Daniels, followed by Dan Roach.
Hey, Cam, hope all is well. Several players today just talked about James White being a motivating factor for them and for the team. How much could you feel that leading into this week? And just, I guess, how much was that on your mind as you prepared going into this game?
Man, James he's a captain for a reason. And the thing about it most is, when you have a guy like that, you empathize with what he's going through. You don't necessarily, feel it per se, but you feel it emotionally. And, we just want to reward him and put him in good spirits. And I know if he's watching this or did watch the game, and we're excited like heck to hopefully get him back here soon. And we've been praying for him. And we need Sweet Feet back.
Thank you.
Next question, Dan Roach, followed by Matt Doloff.
Hey, Cam, just curious your thoughts on what you've seen so far through the first 3 games. I mean, the different game plans to attack different teams, it's one of the staples of the Patriots. They adjust week to week. First week, it was, you run for a couple of touchdowns, you throw 400 yards last week, and then the running game and company take over this week. What's that like from your perspective to watch it unfold week to week? Is it kind of pretty cool to see the game plan when you get it in your hands at the beginning of the week?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we want to do. We want to put defensive in fits, knowing that, we have so many different ways to, beat you, and a plethora of different type of schemes, plethora of different, type of, we want to run downhill, we want to run on the edge, we want to throw it deep, we want to, it doesn't matter. And I think that's been our biggest edge for the most part, just having that ability to attack the teams in many different ways to still be successful.
Next question, Matt Doloff, followed by Henry McKenna.
Thanks, Daisy. Hey, Cam. So back to the next man up topic. Joe Tooney played center today. So I'm just wondering how you'd assess the performance of him. You talked about the importance of a clean snap. What was the sense of urgency like going into this game to get ready for that?
We didn't have no issues, so it was great. Smoking Joe is a person who is very reliable on this offensive line, and the moment wasn't too big for him to step right in to fill the shoes of Dirty Dave. So I was just excited that if to have anybody be replacing somebody, you would want that transaction to be what it was.
Next question, Henry McKenna, followed by Eden Kern.
Dan, last week I asked you about the running backs and you picking up the slack a little bit for them. And this week it seemed like you leaned on them, not just in the running game, in the passing game. Rex led the team with 7 receptions. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to you to be able to rely on them in a game where, maybe you really need them?
Well, it's just another different asset to attacking the defense. And, like I said, Berkey had a day, and who knows who it could be next week.
Next question, Aiden Kern, followed by Alex Barth.
Hey, Cam, there's a funny clip going around of late in the game. Nikhil was talking to you, and you slid down off the bench. Was curious if you could clue us in on what led to that reaction, and just how having positive chemistry like that really helps you guys on the field as well.
I was just gonna keep that discussion on the field, and we could just go from there. I don't think anything good. I just think it's better that people wonder what we were talking about rather than actually knowing. And to be honest with you, I really don't even know. I was trying to read his lips, like, man, what is he saying, bro? You know what I mean? But those guys, man, it's just been great. Doughboy is growing up, by the game, and obviously having the leadership of, Jules, and he's done a great job for us, and we expect him to keep pointing upwards with his production.
Great, thanks.
Next question, Alex Barth. And if anybody else has a question, I'd ask you to raise your hand now.
Hey, Cam, how's it going?
How are you?
Good. You had that run in the fourth quarter. Looked like a design pass. You dodged like 3 guys in the pocket. I think picked up 21 yards on the scramble. I'm wondering if you can just kind of take us through what you saw on that play.
The play before, I just remember, we had another play action pass, and I missed Bird. And I seen it on a replay, and he came back with the big eyes, and I was like, man, I know I missed you, little bud. So, coming back, I knew that would have been a touchdown. So we had to, make for doggone sure that this drive wouldn't be, capped with just a field goal. We wanted to make sure we did score. So when I seen the run lane open, they did a great job defensively with having a spy, and I realized they didn't have a spy at that specific time. So, I just tried to do what the defensive gave me.
Next question, Bill Burr, followed by Mike Giardi.
Hey, Cam. Question. We're only 3 games in, a month longer than that. What do you like about this group?
Just find ways to win. That's it. We played 3 different teams, three different type of teams, and each game there's been 100% consistency in the feel of knowing that we're going to be in the best situation to win and still having the opportunity to win. So, you're backed with guys who play for each other, play for the common goal, and that's what it's all about.
Mike Giardi, followed by Karen Guidi.
Cam, you mentioned Doughboy growing up before our eyes. I'm curious that the timing on the play was 23-13, or the 27-yarder down the sidelines. Is that to you a signal of quarterback and receiver being on the same page and growing together in this offense?
What clip are you talking about?
It was the 27-yarder down the sidelines. You hit him on I would say it was a deep comeback, and he.
Oh yes. I know what you're talking about. Well, see, for him, every young receiver feels like if I'm not catching a football, then I'm not productive. And for him, he had such a productive game because he was setting the edge for us in the run game, and he did such a great job, and that still keeps you in the game. So that play happened, if I don't remember it, it was in the fourth quarter. Anytime before that, he probably had a check down or something like that, which I know I remember vividly watching him in college. It's just a different type of ask of what we're asking him to do in this particular system. And for him, he has to stay in the game, and he's been in the game, making sure that he's doing his job, whether that's from finishing blocks, setting the edge, getting the force defender, running guys off, doing his job with the passing game. And so for him, still being relatively young, for him to still be in the game when it's time for him to catch a ball, it works hand in hand. So, I told him on the sideline, man, I'm extremely proud of him and his growth, because it is tough, mentally more than anything, for a young guy to come in here and try to thrive in ways that it don't always ask for you to thrive with just catching a football. And I think that's the biggest misconception, for receivers, especially coming into this league.
Next question, Karen Guidi, followed by Phil Perry.
Hi, Cam.
How are you?
I was just wondering, going back to you talking about finding ways to win. What confidence does it give you to kind of be able to dial up a passing game or a running game when needed?
I really could not understand, your question because you're choppy.
What kind of confidence does it give you to be able to dial up a run game or a pass game when you need to? You were talking about finding ways to win. What does that do for a team's confidence?
Well, I tell you what, with it being a lot of speculation with the offensive line, and those guys really accepted the challenge this week, and coach challenged us all, from finishing the play, and finishing the play isn't just being penalty free. It's taking your guy and making sure your guy doesn't make the tackle, and I think Sony made a couple people miss in the open field just as well as Berkey and those guys. For us to be able to attack and stay on the attack all game is something that doesn't just go unnoticed for us. We understood. We had a pretty good passing game last game. We had a pretty much of a mixture the first game, which we would kind of prefer, as well as this game was a kind of a slow start, but at the end of the day, we found ways to win. And when you're able to do that as a team collectively, as coach said, playing complementary football, then things will be ascending for us as far as success.
Next question, Phil Perry, followed by Chris Ryan.
Hey, Cam, I know the running game was really productive for you guys today. I'm curious, did you put any pressure on yourself to make things happen in the passing game? It just looked like there were a few throws that you tried to get into some tight windows there. Was there anything the Raiders were doing to kind of force you into those spots? How would you sort of assess how some of those pass plays went where you were trying to maybe squeeze some things into you guys?
It's just a game, and every read is not going to be ideal or perfect. So, I just got to do a better job with protecting the football. That inexcusable interception was completely my fault. Trying to extend the play, kind of pressing a little bit too much. But yet, at the end of the day, those type of games will happen, and we did what we needed to do, and I think that's all that matters.
Chris Ryan, and then the last question will be Dan Roach. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Cam, can you just comment on the way that you guys finished the game on both sides of the football, the drive, with obviously your emphatic first down run on that drive, and also the way the defense finished as well, and how that bodes for this team moving forward?
Well, prior to that drive, Mickey D's, Coach McDaniels, had came to me, as well as Jules, and kind of challenged us to not let our foot off the gas. And we've had a relatively interesting practice this week, knowing that the tempo was extremely high, the expectations was extremely high coming off the loss. This was kind of different for me, being in the building and seeing how people react differently to losing. And it wasn't acceptable to me, and I know it wasn't acceptable to a lot of others, in this building. So we knew we had to finish with the ball in our hands as well to create some type of cushion, with that kind of centerpiece drive, so to speak. And, we had plays that was called, and, we tried to execute as much as possible, and I think we did a great job with that outside of, one specific force. But at the end of the day, we had a couple of those answer drives this year, and I'm extremely pleased with our team, how the way they handled it, defensively as well as offensively. And, when you got that type of chemistry early, it only builds great habits here moving forward in the latter part of the season.
Last question, Dan Roach.
And Cam, just to follow that up, how good was it to see you guys had that drive, but then coming right back to strip sack and the touchdown by the defense, complimentary football. And then just a final thought is from Mickey D's to twin number 1, number 2 to, Dirty Dave to everybody. you have a nickname now for everybody on this football team, including the coaching staff?
Man, listen, that's just the Steez guy. You know what I'm saying? You just got to keep it fun. And, I just appreciate the guys just for just rolling with it, man. And, one thing I did, kind of peep from walking in day one, there's an aura that you get when you play as a member of the New England Patriots. And that aura can sometimes be like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just the Patriot way to a degree from the outside looking in, but from the inside looking out, man, these guys are really, they really enjoy the process as well as myself. And me being a member, I'm just lucky to be here. And, anytime I can, lighten the mood in some way, shape, form, I hesitate not.
Thank you, Cam.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.